Welcome to Rebel Watch, an all-Star Wars podcast.
Hey, what are you trying to push on us?
Perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly.
Lock S-foils in attack position.
I'm ready. I'm locked.
Honestly, you have to.
Yeah.
Because I'm nervous.
Yeah, you should be.
I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for this, but I feel like, we're anticipating a trailer drop at some point, whether it's now or in the next 2 months.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
And we're recording this, I'll say mid-December.
Yep.
Mid-December. And just in case when we do drop this, the trailer has dropped, maybe some of these questions will be answered.
Maybe. And maybe we nailed them.
We probably have. I mean, we've been on to this for a couple of years now. We've been trying to answer this question. I think we've been beating around the bush. We've expanded our theory a little bit, but who left Rey on Jakku?
Part two.
We've often referenced it. Here on Rebel Watch, we've talked about the significance of Jakku.
Yeah.
We refer people back to episode 2
Amen.
of our podcast, which is kind of hysterical to go back and listen
I cannot
to.
believe it's episode 2.
I know.
We're so young.
That was really the one, though, that really started it for us, though.
It did.
I feel like that was where we were like, okay.
And people were like, we should take this guy seriously when they're not drinking.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I feel like it was... I feel like even Lucasfilm was listening. You know what I mean? They're like,
I know
"Man."
they're listening.
Oh, I know they are, but we know some folks there. So
That's true.
But my friend, so that's the thing is, who left Rey on Jakku? We want to kind of lay some of this out.
Yeah.
We were sitting here kind of going back and forth for a while about like how to approach this, how to break it down. And really there's just no right way, good way to go. You just got to dive into it. That's why I say lock S-foils in attack position. Let's go. Let's just get into it.
You go ahead and try and draw their fire. Okay.
Right.
And I'll, make the attack
Make
run.
the attack run. Yeah. I'll cut across their axis and try and draw their fire.
Please.
While you set up the attack run.
Please.
So here we go. Let me draw some of the fire.
Okay.
When we first started talking about this, let me set you up here. We have on the planet Jakku, you got a lot of crazy things.
Yeah.
You have in the canons, in the canon books, in Aftermath, you have the contingency plan. You have the Battle of Jakku.
Yeah.
You have Battlefront, which is, taking the big part of that was going into The Force Awakens, understanding the Battle of Jakku and its significance to the Empire coming to an end, the Imperial kind of remnant type of thing, coming to a close. Gallius Rax, all of that stuff. It's very significant. So there's an observatory there. It's got some relics. It's got some Sith relics. It's a place that was very important to Palpatine. Remember that?
Yeah.
So he set it up as part of his plan. He had this set there, and so they're using that institution. They have some children from Jakku, whether they were born on Jakku or they had been transplanted there or they had migrated there some way or another. They're there. They're hardened by the conditions. They become a part of the First Order, which we learn about Captain Phasma. So we have that going on Jakku.
What do we think?
Well, yeah, exactly. We speculate.
It could be.
Well,
Phasma.
yeah, it could be. It's just that, again, maybe she wasn't born on Jakku because you learned that in the...
She grew up somewhere else, but maybe she was born on Jakku. Maybe that's where they took her, and who knows? But yeah, it's they let us believe that. But you're right. There's so much going on.
Right, there's a lot going on there just with the First Order and the Empire. Now, so let's switch sides.
Yeah.
Let's go to the light side.
Yeah.
You have the Millennium Falcon there.
Yeah.
The garbage. Okay?
Yep.
You have the map to Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Lor Santeca.
Yeah.
Big member of the Force of the Church.
I mean, why was he? So that's here. Let me ask this: why is he? He's a member of the he's a Church of the Force member.
Yeah.
He was looking for knowledge there, was he not? On Jakku?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we read?
Yeah. We were looking at some of like the Poe Dameron comics, and so his path had kind of led him there. His quest. I mean, he had been traveling all around, and he ends up there. So he is seeking relics and knowledge, and he goes to kind of this sanctuary. They're a peaceful village there that are members of the, I said it backwards, or the Church of the Force.
Yeah.
And so they, he's maybe comparing relics there. It sounds like he found the map to Luke Skywalker. I'm not so sure I understand or believe or buy that. I don't really get that. Like, he found the map.
Why would any? Well, unless Luke was leaving,
because
like clues or something.
Well, because the idea is, I mean, I feel like the First Order has the complete, like, here is the map.
They have the archives.
Yeah. They needed to see the piece where Luke went to.
So did he? So why was that piece missing? That's another question.
Well, see, I don't think it was missing from the. I think the First Order can see everything. You see, it was sort of.
Oh, but they got Luke's.
Yeah, that has never made sense to me. It's like, okay, so what did Luke do? Remove that from every possible piece of, Imperial databank, New Republic databank. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
What I see it as is that Luke plotted a course.
Yeah.
And he had his own sort of, this is where he went.
Yeah.
So you have that in isolation. You don't really know. It's sort of like taking a piece of a puzzle. So you have this big puzzle. You pull that piece out. I don't really know where this fits in this big puzzle.
Yeah.
If the puzzle's all messed up, or if you don't have access to the rest of the, records. Because Rey has that piece. BB-8 shows it. And then R2 brings in the rest of the map, and they put the two together.
Yeah.
So, but what it sounds like. So I don't know why. Why was it incomplete?
Well, and R2 has the full one. So how Kylo claims that they got the full, that they retrieved it from the Imperial archives.
Yeah.
Okay, so after the fall of the Empire, I mean, there was the Imperial remnant, I'm sure, and Luke's going off doing these things. I mean, where do they get that information? Are they tracking him? Are they following him? Like, and how does R2 have a copy? I just, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, to me, so like, it's implied somewhere that like Lor Santeca finds it on Jakku. I just don't believe that. I have to think that Luke left a portion of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he left a way for himself to be found. He disappeared. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's sort of like, maybe it's the missing piece to the map of like, this one sector. Maybe they're searching that sector and they just can't. I don't know. But that besides the point. So that's sort of kind of a tangent. But if you have thoughts on that, let us know. But so you've got the map to Luke Skywalker, Lor Santeca. You've got that community there. You've got the Falcon, and you have this girl Rey there as well.
Yeah.
All of those things we've said before when we first started talking about who left Rey on Jakku. It's just too much to be a coincidence.
It is.
Now, the obvious. So the one that I'm going to lay out here first is
come on.
I'm going to lay out a little something that's sort of. This is. I don't think this is how it happened. Okay.
Okay.
So, and it seems like this is the route that they're taking us down. They're leading us to believe that the Force awakens in Rey, which it does.
Yes.
Okay. But I think this, to answer the question about, why are all those pieces there on Jakku, and Rey, I think we're being led to believe that, like, no, all those pieces just happen to be there, and she was a strong Force-sensitive individual that the Force awokened there because Finn was coming. Poe was coming. Everything was sending it to this point, and the Force awoke in this individual.
Do you think it was that instant? Like, it wasn't like destiny planned out, years in the future, or it was just like, wow, okay, so there's this defector. He's going to Jakku. There's Lor Santeca there, and then it's like, here's this vessel.
It's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't know.
Because when the Emperor talks about destiny, I'm thinking it's like, it's out there, but that makes it seem like it's just like all these things are happening, and that's what's causing it, as if destiny, a different decision is made, and they could have,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, if all those things happen on a different planet, is it then the Force awakens in someone else?
Yeah.
Did the Force choose her because she happened to be where all of these different paths were converging? And that gets into a fate versus, conversation. But to me, I don't think the Force just chose her because she was there and she was left there and she happens to be Force sensitive.
Yeah.
I think she was left there intentionally by someone else, and she is someone of significance. And I think the Falcon, the map, and Lor Santeca are there because she's there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think it's like those things are there, and then Rey, it just happens to be.
She is the anchor.
Yeah. So
Bringing everything there.
she brings those things there.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So it's sort of like instead of the opposite way. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So I guess, and I'm not doing the best job of explaining that, but it's, she is significant. Someone left her there, and the reason I say that is because the Falcon's there. It's there. The map to Luke Skywalker is there. Laura Santeca's journey takes him there, and she's there.
Yeah.
And I don't think Laura Santeca has been there. I'd like to look and see at that Poe Dameron comic as to how long he went there. He kind of does retire at the end there to be in that sanctuary type of place.
Oh, he retires all right.
Yeah.
On Jakku.
He does. But it's,
Permanent retirement.
Why? Being this one who was so, he knew a lot about the lore. He helped Master Skywalker. I mean, he was...
Well, he knows
an ally.
the Solos.
He knows them. He says that, when talking about General Organa, that she's royalty to
She's
him.
royalty, and it seems like it goes back. It's not just more of a
Long
recent
time.
thing. He knows her to be royalty from back in her younger years.
Right. Exactly.
He knows Ben Solo. He knows
right.
who he is, and Ben knows who he is.
That's right.
So that connection cannot be overstated,
Yep.
and we just
Got to
don't-
stress it.
Yeah, and we don't know a lot about him, and that's purposeful. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, got some feedback
Hey,
there.
hey,
the
hey,
phone.
hey.
The phone. There it is. There it is.
Jiminy Christmas, we got some technical difficulties.
But you're
I know. I just don't know, man. There's
I
a
don't know.
lot. There's a lot there. So let's break it down a little bit further and talk about. You want to lay out who we think might have like the potential candidates?
Do we want to start with our original theory, which very well could be canon?
Yeah, let's talk.
I
about
need
it
to
a little
emphasize that.
Yeah.
Go back, circa what do you think, 2016?
bit. Yeah, 2016.
And one of the best theories on
on the internet.
on the internet's stated by Rebel Watch that Han Solo left her there,
yeah.
and
And that he was the one who, kind of like an Obi-Wan, he was the one who lied to us. He was the one who
Exactly.
told us the lie because, from a certain point of view, right? He had kind of told us the truth, but not really.
and I feel like
Or by not speaking to it.
yes,
By when Maz asked the question and he just doesn't answer, you know what I mean? It's sort
so
of
much was there
implied. Yeah.
Him, looking at Rey. There was just so much there in that moment
Right.
when she says, "I've never seen so much green in the galaxy," and
Yeah.
he looks like he feels bad about something.
Yep.
And I feel like I can expound upon that theory so much more now, and thinking about, I don't know if we even really hashed out like Ben, just like, and his hatred towards his father. Maybe it's because Han wasn't just necessarily not wanting to be a dad, the books kind of lead us to believe, but
Yeah.
maybe he was out doing something else important.
Exactly. Something
And
significant.
Maybe he couldn't even tell, Leia.
Right.
We never really mined that idea, but it's just, maybe he's Solo in this. I mean,
It would be ironic for somebody who doesn't believe in a power that, rules the universe type of thing to be the guy who believes in something.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like the fate of the galaxy depends on this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We will need you to accomplish this task or to leave this girl there, or to set this up, or to protect her in some way.
And
and
I'll even say that when Han is talking to Rey and Finn about Luke and the Force Awakens,
yeah.
he seems a little agitated.
Yeah, he does.
Like, you knew Luke Skywalker? Like, yeah, I knew Luke.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew him.
Almost like, yeah, and what I did, to keep a secret, jeopardized the relationship with my son.
Yeah.
I could mine that all day, man. It's just like,
Right.
maybe it could be something that big that Kylo doesn't even, or Ben doesn't even understand, but he just knows that his father felt like he wasn't, the most important thing at the time.
Well, and to me, I think a surprise character that you could have in some type of holo recording would be Han Solo, Harrison Ford. You could still do that.
Yeah.
You could still piece some
crazy.
some lingo together and have
Yeah.
recordings or archives or things that would be like, wow, there it is.
Yeah.
You can still, even though he's passed, Han Solo is no more. I mean, I don't know.
I just see a scene in episode 9 where all this stuff is flooding to Rey, and you pick up that conversation with Han and Maz.
Yeah.
At her little outpost.
Oh my goodness.
And she's just having flashes, and he finishes, and she's like, "Who's the girl?"
And he explains it.
How cool would that be?
That would be crazy.
Maybe they filmed that already, or if Harrison even came in and did that.
Yeah.
Like
that would be
that
crazy.
would tie in the Force Awakens so much with it.
100%.
Right?
100% it would. Yeah, and then she just doesn't. She knows the significance of the secret, keeps it as well.
Yeah.
Type of thing, and so you get that moment. You know, almost like some dramatic irony for the audience. We learn it. Maybe the characters don't know it, and it's going to come to them in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, our original thought was it was Han Solo, Harrison Ford, that he was the one. He was the individual who orchestrated this or actually left her on Jakku.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you could say against that, you know, sort of like, why doesn't he recognize her? You know, how did he not know the Falcon was there?
Yeah.
You know, all that kind of stuff.
Or did he know the Falcon was there?
Or did he? Right. A lot of different things. You see a different ship leaving her. You know, it's not the one. It's not the Falcon. Did he take a different ship and leave it there?
Yeah.
So there's those options. We would like to, in part 2,
Amen.
lay out a couple different individuals
Come on.
who also could have left Rey on Jakku, and who we think the most likely candidate is.
Yeah. I don't even know if I know that one.
Oh, I'm going to make a bold statement.
Okay, come on.
I want to make a bold statement here in a second.
R2-D2.
Yeah. Stole it right out of him. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, that's why he shut himself down.
Exactly. Well,
You know,
he's
to protect the plans.
I mean, he's definitely a part of, you know, in some capacity. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on. So I think one thing we were just talking to our good friend Holly. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
And she was talking about. She just said this to Mike, and it blew our minds. She said, "How does Rey understand Chewbacca?"
Great question.
I want you to really think about that for a second.
Yeah.
So we understand, we know that she can speak to droids, and we get that droid speak is there.
Yeah.
How can she speak to Wookiees?
Yeah.
How does she know?
Yeah.
So to answer that question, so we're bringing Chewie forward.
Come on.
We brought Han, so I think next is his co-pilot.
Absolutely.
You know, that Chewie was involved in some way.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And so he could have been a part of leaving her on Jakku. Could have been a part of his life.
Could have been.
Or her life, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Chewie could have been a part of Rey's life. The Rey survival guide, I believe it does say something to the effect of like, you know, she had learned from the database of was it the Y-Wing and maybe one of the Imperial Star Destroyers, like the droid speak, and she learned alien languages.
Yeah.
So she could speak with people from at Nema Outpost, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, and so what is her? Is she just speaking basic? You know, is that, you know, that's her thing, and everybody speaks basics, and then she picks up other languages or what have you. So that's an option. She also could have encountered Wookiees at the spaceport and learned from them.
Yeah.
You know, there's an option.
Yeah.
Or she really does know Chewbacca in a past life.
She was born on Kashyyyk.
She was born on Kashyyyk, you know, to Mala and Chewbacca.
Her and Lumpy, sharing one of those holographic, you know, dance parties.
Yep. That's
toys,
what they're doing.
You know, could be.
Yeah. But I thought, you know, if she was raised, you know, around some Wookiees, if there's some way, maybe Han was spending a lot of time away from Leia, and he was working on some other situation. Yeah. With a young girl named Rey. Maybe her name's obviously not Rey.
Yeah.
It's something else, I believe.
But she may have just created that on Jakku herself.
Absolutely. So
why not?
And
she
also
just picks it up from him, you know?
That's all. Go ahead.
No, him and Han just, you know, Han obviously understands it, but I mean, he's talking to Chewie all the time. Chewie's talking to him. If she's around, I mean, in a short amount of time, a young kid picks up on a lot.
Absolutely.
So,
you know, one thing about Rey's name that I want to mention before I forget it is that, you know, I think she gets that name that people have said from the helmet that she finds on Jakku, and so she names herself Rey. I think she gives herself that name.
Yeah.
But my question is, my friend, does that not if she's like, what is she, 6 or 7 when she's left there? She doesn't know her own name?
I think she might be maybe 6.
So what I'm saying is that, like, you know, my own niece who's 3 and 4 years old knows her name, and she knows mommy's name and daddy's name.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm saying that girl that was left on Jakku should have known her own name.
She should. Yeah.
So what causes her to lose her name? You know, is it this traumatic event? She's blocked it herself, maybe as Ben has mentioned. So she develops this new name. Maybe her name really was Ray when she was dropped off there. That could be.
Yeah.
But there's something there, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
There's something that is causing a block. And this is why a lot of people will lend to the whole she's a clone. You know, she's a clone, and so she's just sort of like, you know, the clones gave themselves names. You know what I mean? They kind of developed their own personalities and named each other, nicknamed each other and things. So, okay. But I think that's significant and interesting. So, but anyways, back to the Chewbacca conversation, just the fact that she can understand him is fascinating. Yeah. Actually.
Yeah.
And it just made me think, well, he's another person who could have something to do with her being left on Jakku. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
we've got Han and Chewie.
Yep.
All right, let's add another character in there. Oh, boy. Which one do we want to go with?
Well, maybe we'll save Jar Jar for the last.
Yeah, Jar Jar last. So the one I want to save for the end. Hold on. So let me
come on. Tease it.
Well, there's okay. So we've got Han. We've got Chewie. I don't think it was Luke. Okay, I don't think Luke had anything to do with her because he doesn't seem to have, like, Han, as you said, had that recognition. Like, is this the girl? You know, he felt like there was something going on there. Yeah, so there's something there, but I don't think it's Luke. I don't think it's Leia.
Luke and Leia feel like they completely have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. They feel like they're out, you know, in the dark there. So who were the other ones besides the one that I was leading up to? Was there? Because I thought we had 4 to start with. But we've got. I know 3 for sure. Yeah, that's the one that I'm leading.
Yep.
That's my go-to.
That's the big one?
Yeah, it's the big one.
Who was
there
the fourth one?
I mean, you said R2. I was kind of joking about that, but
I mean...
involved, not left her there, but is involved. I think we said, like, Lor Santeca maybe could have been involved.
If there's something big going on and Lor Santeca has the plans to Luke Skywalker and he's that close to the Solo family...
Yeah.
I feel like he knows. I mean, does Han know Lor Santeca?
Maybe. Well, he knows Ben.
He knows Ben, so I would assume so. And then is there a reason?
So he's an option. He's a weaker option, though, I think, when you look at maybe Han and Chewie.
Yeah, I agree.
He's one of those pieces that's there looking over her after she's been there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like he comes there around the time where she's left there, and so he's sort of watching over, whether he says that or not. Maybe he doesn't even know what he's really watching over. I don't know. So, and again, we're approaching this from the idea that, like, these pieces, the map, Lor Santeca, the Falcon, are there because Rey was left there, you know, type of thing. So, because she's there. We'll just get right to it.
Come on.
Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
Bold statement in my mind.
Yeah.
I've rethought this on part 2. He left her there.
Yeah.
He did.
He could. I mean, he very well could have.
No, my friend, I'm going to say it again.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
Lando, to answer the question,
Lando
left Rey on Jakku.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about, like, how would it be that Han doesn't know who stole the Falcon or how it got on Jakku? You know, and he's telling Chewie, you know, I knew we should have checked, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then Rey's trying to explain, you know, it was stole by Duquesne, who was stolen, Irving Boys and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds like something Lando would set up to throw his friend off.
True. Yeah, I don't know. That relationship seems like it's pretty solid, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
him and Lando?
Yeah, Han and Lando.
Yeah. But I think it could have. Here's the thing. So when you lay out the people who could have left her there, let's do that first. We got Han, Chewie, R2, Lor Santeca. We should throw C-3PO in there while we're at it. You know,
yeah, he could be behind it all.
He could be behind the whole thing. And then to me, the biggest one now in my mind is Lando. The fact that they're bringing him here in Episode 9 to reveal and to bring some resolution. I think he knows what happened and he knows who left her on Jakku, and he probably was the one who left her and can explain a lot of this stuff. Hear me out. So if those are the people who left her there, the potential candidates. Again, you could have just the like a smuggler family, a pirate family. You could have all sorts of different people, but I'm talking about your main, big Star Wars characters who could have left it there. And we've said no to Luke. We've said no to Leia. We don't believe those are options.
No.
I don't believe it's a Emperor Palpatine situation, the First Order type of thing.
No.
Okay.
Cloning thing out the door.
Out the door. I'm even going to say no to Phasma. You've talked a little bit more about the Phasma situation. You were a Phasma fan? You think it could be Phasma?
I mean, we talked about that a long time ago.
So okay, you could throw her in. That's a whole other angle. So there's another player who, if she truly is, if there's something between Phasma and Skywalker, if there's just a Phasma child, who knows who it could be with.
After reading the Phasma book, it seems less likely, but after reading Aftermath, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it seemed like,
she could be that Mara Jade,
right.
in.
Yeah.
But it seems far out there now at this point.
So, I mean, there's your candidates as to who could have left her there and who most likely did not. My question is, who then, if I think it's Lando, I'm going to go with Lando for a little while here. Who directed him to leave Rey there? Okay, so I have two people in mind, Han and Luke. That's it.
But
Han
if Luke is not involved and Han we don't think is involved.
Well, I think Han, I do think, remember the look that Han gives her?
Yeah.
I think he knows, is this what I set up? I set this up for, I didn't know where she would go.
Yeah, we had a...
I told Lando to settle this up. I didn't want to be involved because, you know what I mean?
And they weren't looking for you. They were looking for someone named...
Someone named Skywalker. But, I mean...
Yeah.
If he said...
Did he strike a deal?
What's what I'm saying?
Another bad deal?
Did Han, though, need to set this up?
Yeah.
And to protect her, he needs to not know.
Yeah.
His son is turning to the dark side, or his son is force sensitive. Luke is force sensitive. He's warned by something, or what have you. Who knows what it could be?
Yeah.
And he sets this all up and then gives it to Lando. You make the arrangements. We can't be involved. So we're just generally discussing here. We're trying to kind of tease it all out. But to me, I think that's something Lando could have done. He could have dropped her off, and he could have told Han, the Falcon was stolen by Duquesne or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe he hires Duquesne to steal it.
Who stole it from me? Yeah.
And then maybe he hires the Irving boys to steal it from Duquesne.
Yeah.
And then he steals it from the Irving boys. And he sells it to Unkar, I mean, so somewhere in there, lost in translation, is a Lando connection.
What would be the reason for it, though? Like
why would they want Rey there on Jakku? So again, that comes back to the very beginning. Is it that the Force chooses her because of her proximity to all these objects, or are all the objects, all the pieces on Jakku there because of her?
Yeah.
So if it's the Force chooses her because she happens to be in a position that's like convenient, I don't like that. That's just me. Yeah. And if you do, and we like that it's just no one, the Force chose you and it awoken you, and that's awesome, and you rise to this occasion, cool.
Yeah.
But to me, it seems like that is a lot. Those are a lot of different pieces to be on that planet.
Yeah. Especially with all the legends, or not the legends, the novel material that we've been reading. So it's I don't know.
Right. So you've got the observatory with there. You even have I think it's in the novelization. She goes to that observatory and actually fights. It sounds like some guards there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's a known warrior type on Jakku. She does not messed with. Which is cool.
Yeah.
She's awesome. So that's already there. It's not like the Force. I don't think the Force just awoken her overnight. I think she is special, and she's special for a reason. So now, if it's Lando, so you ask the question, why would Lando bring her there?
Yeah.
So then I have to ask. Well, he himself wouldn't just say, someone told Lando to do this. And the only person I can think of who looked like they were guilty of something was Han. So we originally thought Han dropped her off there. No. Because all that Duquesne stuff and how did the Falcon get there and how do they not know it's there seemed pretty convincing that they didn't know it was there and they wouldn't just leave it alone. They were happy to have it back.
Yeah.
But Lando, could be the other X factor there.
Yeah.
And we don't know how much they've been talking, So now the question then goes to Han. Why would Han want a young girl to be left on Jakku or to be sent away?
Because it's his daughter and it's Kira's baby. And that relationship kindled.
Okay.
you know, later on after the Solo, a Star Wars story.
Okay.
I mean, she could be force sensitive.
Okay.
You know,
Maybe Han is seduced in some way.
yeah,
You know, maybe he didn't. Maybe it was out of his control.
that could be the fall of the marriage. That could be part of why Ben is so upset. That could be
Okay. All right.
what girl?
Yeah.
If you want to get into the real theories, people were talking about that
Sure.
so much.
Yeah, they
I'm
were.
kind of saying, what girl? Like
Yeah.
it had meaning behind it. Like,
Yeah.
I know of someone. Are you referencing them?
Sure.
So, I mean, that would lead to jealousy. That would, I mean, all those things that seem like they're there.
Sure.
You know, if you dig deep enough. But that could explain it all.
So that's an option.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So that was I like that. That's awesome.
Ties it in.
I've got another one for you,
Come on.
which we talked about before we started, which was the idea that maybe I would love for Mara Jade to be a part of this universe now.
So sick.
I would love it.
Yeah.
Really would. I don't know how they're going to do it. It seems like a lot to throw into one movie, and I get that.
Yeah.
But if Lando's telling us a story and he's explaining what happened, and he said, you know, something went wrong between Luke and Mara. She left because the Force gave her a vision.
Yeah.
She was with child. Anakin did not know.
He did not.
He did not know
like
that he had
father,
a child.
like son.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He didn't know that he had a son, Luke. He found out about that. Then we
Yeah.
said last week, you know, he found out that he had a daughter. He
In-
had a twin
in the
sister.
third
In the third
installment.
installment, he finds out that he has a daughter.
Yeah.
He has no idea.
No.
He
No
is
idea.
one of the greatest Jedi Knights and Sith Lords of all time and
Yeah.
does not know that he has children. They
Does
were
not know.
hidden from him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
were they hidden? Was Rey hidden from Luke? Was she? So, you know, Ez is always trying to find a way to keep the Skywalker line continuing and
Yeah.
Skywalker children, you know, to be involved, or Solo children to be a part of this saga and to continue it on past Episode 9. So to me, I was thinking, yeah, there's an option. You know, Mara, maybe she gave her life in some capacity. Maybe she is the one who went to Lando, or maybe she went to Han, and Han said, well, I'm going to go to Lando. And so it went
Yeah.
from here to here to here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it got passed around, and then he's the one left to kind of tell the story.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe she's reunited, you know, in some way with a Mara Jade who
Yeah.
was left, and that's part of Luke's sorrow.
Yeah.
Perhaps. We don't know. We don't know anything about, you know, what is she, 18, 19, 20 years old in The Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Rey, something like that, in late teens. And so, I mean, he's only been in exile for 6 to 7 years, right? 7 years before The Force Awakens. So, and Last Jedi picks up right after that.
Yeah.
I mean, so 10 years, there's just a lot of, 18 years ago, did he have a wife who left? You know?
That'd be cool.
Be crazy. How long has he been working on the Academy? You know, those are all things we still have to kind of answer. So I like the whole Kira connection.
Yeah.
I like the idea that maybe there's, you know, someone who, you know, like a Mara Jade character. It doesn't have to be Mara Jade, but maybe a significant other for Luke, who foresaw something in the Force and knew that this child would need to be placed here. Okay, so there's that. I will throw out the idea just to kind of appease people, I guess. We did have someone send us a theory, and so
We did.
Who was that? Let's actually. Can you look that up for me real quick?
Pull it up. Yep.
So we had someone email us the theory, and they just wanted us to kind of. We'll talk about this more in depth. I promise you, we will, because I want to give everyone. I don't really care what theory you send us. We've always said we'll read it. We don't care how crazy it is, or
Absolutely.
and not that I'm calling it crazy, because I'm not.
No.
A lot of people believe that Rey is a clone
Yeah.
of Luke or of Anakin, or, you know, Luke's hand.
They do.
And so they kind of believe that, you know, there's this secret underwater facility that Maz raids and gets this, you know, the First Order was working on this superior, super soldier type of thing, like a super soldier.
Yep.
And she's the prototype, or she's one of the, you know, big pieces there, and they actually rescue her, this young girl. They take her away so it kind of stems or stops the progress. Maybe they sabotage some of the research, and so they can't, you know, make any more super soldiers or whatever. And so it's just Rey, and they stash her away and hide her away, and Maz
Yeah.
is a part of that.
Yeah.
But see, Maz wouldn't ask who's the girl. Is what
True.
I kind of, you know, is what I but, you know,
She is, though.
maybe again
She's
back to
picking up
Lando.
on it.
Back to Lando.
Back to Lando, yeah.
Maybe she gives the girl to Lando. You see, maybe people don't realize where the girl ends up, and that's the whole point. Is that we got to trust who can we trust? That's somebody an old, during the galactic, war. Who's an old war hero that we can trust?
Well, and a pirate.
Yeah, exactly.
Because people consider Maz a pirate.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't she know
Oh yeah.
one of the best?
Oh she knows Han and she knows Lando for sure.
Exactly.
100%. Yeah.
That's going to be. I never even actually thought about them interacting at all, but that could be
Yeah.
a nice tie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And also you got to remember Lando is known by a lot of people.
Yeah.
He's the one who blew up. He and Wedge, the second Death Star.
Absolutely.
So they're big names.
Great point.
Yeah. So
Great point.
I feel like so that if you want to go with that whole clone aspect, there you go. Back to Lando. Maz gives this child to Lando, and he knows the significance. He knows this is a weapon, maybe that the First Order wants to use. Boom,
Yeah.
stashes her on Jakku.
Yeah.
Then they surround her with Lor Santeca. The Falcon's there. The map comes with Lor Santeca, or he finds it. You know what I mean? And so that starts to kind of answer some of those questions. The other option, we said Luke was not involved. He didn't leave her there. Leia didn't leave her there. If Leia didn't leave her there, was she involved in this in a way? Like, I don't see a way in which she would be involved in the
But
leaving.
does Leia seem surprised at all? She just kind of accepts
Yeah,
Rey.
sure. That's true.
That's so random.
I know.
I get that there's a Force connection, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just, it's almost like there were some deleted scenes
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
maybe hinted that she knew something was going on.
Right.
And it's maybe not something that she wants to acknowledge so much. Maybe she knows about the Han thing.
Yeah, maybe
she
does.
I don't know, man.
Maybe she's put these pieces together. Here's the thing. Lor Santeca seems to be really more of a friend of Leia, and sort of.
Yeah.
So, he calls her royalty. And perhaps she is, I don't know. She could also be distantly related. If she does come from a royal, like, Naboo family line, a sister or something to Queen Amidala or
But
Padme.
she was royalty up until the Resistance was started.
Oh
though.
yeah. I was
know what I'm
talking.
saying?
Yeah. I was talking about like Rey. If
Yeah,
Rey,
yeah.
Rey was, but she was royalty. Yeah, clear up until that point.
So it didn't necessarily have to be
It doesn't
when
go away.
Alderaan was still around.
No.
It could have been, during the New Republic. And so that, it could go back that far, man.
I know. Yeah, it
the
could.
lie
Yes, it could.
or the secret, whatever that is. Everyone could be involved somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Mike is just
They could all be interconnected.
There's a lot of ways you can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Lando did something for Han because Han was in a tight spot.
Yeah.
And he owes him one.
Right.
It could also involve Luke. And Leia, that thinking about that, and I was reading the theory from Nathan Nathan Agnew that you referenced.
There it is. Yeah.
And it's when he's talking about the clone and they have this weapon or whatever, they're like, what do we do with this thing? We can't just kill it. And they send it to General Leia. What does she do? Send the child to be watched on a desert planet by a wise man, Ben Kenobi. Sorry, I meant Lor Santeca,
yeah.
which is hilarious. But I just start thinking she doesn't seem that shocked. Man.
Right. So I excluded Luke and Leia right away.
Yeah.
But he's making the case that you could maybe Leia is another contender as someone who left Rey on Jakku.
We have everything we need.
And actually, right? And actually, right? Exactly. Yeah, that's a
we've
good
been
point.
planning this for years.
That's a
You
good
just
point.
didn't know.
Right. And you're right. She doesn't. I don't really see any way in which she just doesn't acknowledge her. It's not like she doesn't say like, "Oh, I don't know who you are." Or she doesn't know.
She just hugs
There's
her.
there's just
May
nothing.
the Force be with you.
Exactly, and sends her off to see Luke.
Sends her off to see Luke.
They have a very brief interaction.
Why would you trust?
Very
She
brief.
didn't get to talk to Han about her. Why would you trust this person to take the Falcon?
Yeah, the only thing Han says is like, when she talks to Finn, she's like, "I've heard about your friend" or something like that. I know, and we're
Han told me
we're
about
doing
the-
all we can.
Yeah.
But we need you to help us with the, the Starkiller base.
Yeah, Poe told me about the
Right.
girl or whatever, but she seems dismissive of that.
Right. Maybe she doesn't know who that is, or
Well, because there's a bigger
bigger issue going on.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't
Right.
know, man.
Yeah. So okay, let's throw her back into the mix then. She's someone
Keep her in
who
the mix. Everyone's on the table.
everyone. The only one I'm really kind of tossing out is Luke, unless Luke sent a girl away and didn't know where she was going to end up at.
Yeah.
You know, is the way you could keep him involved. But then you feel like he'd be looking for that. And again,
He just has no
he's
idea.
been cut off from the Force, so when he sees her at first, maybe there is no Force connection between him and her and understanding. And it's sort of like by reconnecting and connecting with Leia, he starts to kind of see what this could be, you know.
If there was that connection that he has with Leia, you know how he's like kind of just sensing her when she's on her ship and even when she's in like kind of her coma state.
Yeah.
I would think that maybe he would have that with Leia or with Rey when on Crate, you know, in those moments. And you don't really sense that connection. She sensed Luke pass, but I don't know.
Wait. With Luke and Leia?
With Luke and Rey. If Luke has that connection with Leia, and I guess they've probably had years to, and I think even the novel says they worked on that a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess
siblings,
then maybe
twins.
necessarily he wouldn't have such a quick connection with his supposed daughter.
Yeah, if she's his daughter. I mean, my argument too was that like I think he was monitoring her from afar on Snoke's ship and even on. I think he was ready to intervene on Snoke's ship. Remember,
I love that theory.
I think he was ready to intervene, but it panned out well, and
Yeah.
so he stays back.
Yeah.
And then when he needs to, he intervenes to give her time. I feel like he was watching and he understands everything that's happening, and he chose his time wisely. But I get what you're saying, though. Like, why wouldn't he have a real? I mean, he is totally curious as to who she is, and totally just boggled by her being there.
Why is he so upset that she's getting close to Ben?
Yeah.
If he didn't think that she was the last hope for the rebellion before he has that moment of enlightenment, why would
That's a great question.
why would he freak out and the whole stone hut just
Leave this island. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's done. He's done with her, isn't he? He's very upset that she's
very upset
communicating with Ben.
Yeah. Wow. I just if he hadn't had that moment yet. Well, he kind of does. He says, I know. No, I guess he's running towards her. He's
running towards her.
That's the moment he has enlightenment, and that's why he's so upset because he realizes she was right, and then now he feels betrayed.
He just has that moment, and then he shows up. So now his Force senses are attuned, and he's talking to her, and it's sort of like maybe it all happens so fast.
Yeah,
there's maybe not a time for him to connect with her in the Force like that, and he's so focused on his nephew and that presence.
Yeah.
I don't know. And also, if he did sense there that was his daughter, he would have explained. I mean, he would have said something. He would have explained. But again, if she's been hidden from Luke and he doesn't even know he has a daughter, he has no idea.
Yeah, but if you were to tell, if he wants Rey to see Ben as the enemy and that he can't be turned, saying, "Hey, by the way, that's your cousin," how would you destroy him then?
Right.
Does that make sense? Like if he told her in that moment, "You're my daughter," and she'd be like, "Oh my God." So but does she even know then that Kylo Ren? Yeah, because she knows he's his nephew. Yeah. So
well, I think that would have given her more like
reason to
his family.
Yeah,
we have to bring him back, and she doesn't even know that they're.
And she doesn't really want her to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why he doesn't tell her.
Maybe
he's too far gone.
He's too. Yeah, I don't know. So the Luke one's tricky, as to why Luke would set her up. I like the idea that like he doesn't even know anything about her, and the Force has just guided her there.
But it's funny that's what we want the most.
We do
secretly. Don't you want her to be a Skywalker?
I secretly do want her to be. Yes, I do. And that's why I'm hoping there's a Mara Jade connection, and she's either still alive. And maybe it's Lando who says, here's who you need to go see. Man. You need to go see Mara Jade. And everyone's like, wait, what? And she goes to see her mother. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be messed up.
That'd be messed up, man. But they got that girl. They cast someone in episode 9 who kind of looks like Daisy Ridley a little bit. What was her name? Carrie? What was it?
She's way too young, right?
I don't know, man. Maybe she looks a little... Is it Carrie Russell?
Yeah, Felicity herself. I think she's too young.
Carrie Russell.
She's too young.
Let's see. Let's look at her age here real quick. So she's 42.
Yeah, way too young.
I don't know, man. They could doctor her up. I mean, she's a little older, maybe, you know?
Unless she is Luke's child.
No. How old is Luke? 50, 60?
60 something.
Yeah, I mean, I know in real life I think he is, but
I don't know.
anyways, so I don't know, friends. You know, so a couple options here. You've got Han left her there. You've got Chewie was a part of it. You've got C-3PO and R2.
Yeah.
You've got throw Jar Jar in there while we're at it. And the one I'm honestly leaning towards is that Lando actually left her there. You know, now if it's one of her parents, then it just has to be someone that we've never even seen. Then,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't see how it could be Han or Leia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just don't see how that would work out.
I don't know. We might be grasping for straws.
Yeah, we are a little bit, but
maybe C-3PO knows a little more than we understand, because he does tell Han, "Oh, I bet you want to know how I got the red arm."
yeah,
I actually think there might be a
There's
comic that
yeah.
explains it, but I mean,
But
could
what
have
if,
been an
though?
epic adventure.
It could have been
you
epic.
know?
He left Ray on Jakku, and that's how he lost his arm. Gosh dang it!
I mean, maybe. I think actually, if you look, hard enough in Ray's AT-AT foot, you might see that golden arm somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Well, so anyways, any other candidates that you want to bring forward as to who could have left her there? The Laura Santeca one is I think he's just more sent there to. She's either sent there because he's there, or he's sent there because she's there. I have to look at the timeline on that.
Yeah,
but
it's just like, as cool as these things are, it kind of takes away from not just the idea that the Force can manifest in anyone and anyone can be a hero, but even just like kind of the real world like issues that Han and Leia had, like. Because then I brought up the Kira thing. It's just like, man, I really went down a rabbit hole and was just like, oh, well, it had to be like infidelity and all this and that. And it could have just been that they just didn't get along and that there was no hard feelings or anything. But it's just, I don't know, sometimes you want these things so bad, you just start thinking of things that just really don't even make sense or need to make sense. But I don't know. If you thought you were getting some resolution here in this podcast.
Heck no.
I mean, it just ain't gonna happen.
It's a question. It's a question.
And it may take 4 parts.
It may take 4 parts to figure
the
out.
next year.
Yeah.
So
who left Rey on Jakku. And, so to me, I like that we started with Han Solo and we got to Lando. And I think I think people could see that. I think you could really see, Lando could have dropped her off there. Yeah. Lando could have been involved in some way and may tell us the full story in episode 9. But really, the more important piece is, why did he do it? And who instructed him to do it? So those are the other components that we weren't, I just haven't really, I've thought about them, but it's sort of like, man, it's such a stretch. Yeah. And part of the reason it's a stretch, because you look at her being a clone, it's sort of like, I just don't, since I don't like that idea, I don't think about it as much.
I don't either.
But it actually could very well be just that's the way it is.
Yeah.
She's a clone of Luke Skywalker and whoever else. They kind of developed. I mean, we say clone isn't like an exact replica, so who could that? So we use that term kind of in a weird way, but a hand baby, as they called her.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then I can see the smuggling, moving her around, keeping her away from the First Order, hiding her on that planet. And that's not too far, out of it could totally happen. When we start to stretch things like, did Luke, did Mara Jade send her away, or did Luke foresee something and send her away?
Yeah.
Those get to be kind of tough. Or the whole Kira connection clear back to his youth. I mean, I like it, though.
Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, it's a rabbit hole that you go down, and we try to really see where those things go, and they lead us into new thoughts. But when you start to really, it's a stretch.
It is.
If she's just no one, and the Force just awakens in her, maybe it's that simple.
Yeah, and it probably will be.
It actually probably will be that she is just someone new, who is going to, and maybe it's more about her relationship with Ben Solo.
Yeah,
and she doesn't need to be a Skywalker or anything else. She's just this awesome character. We fall in love with Mara Jade. Who is she?
Yeah,
exactly. We love her because she loves Luke, and we love Luke.
Yeah.
So can we grow to love Ben? Is there something about him? Is he going to do something epic in some way that we're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
This is the guy. Let's get behind this guy.
Could.
You know?
It could.
So there's all of that.
And
I
this
guess.
discussion does come from a point of us wanting the Skywalker lineage to be involved with all of what's happening.
Sure.
So it's and we're trying to think of it in very like more realistic
Yeah, absolutely.
ways
Yeah.
rather than a clone and her being some Skywalker, because that
Right.
could be the easy way of doing it. But
Well, yeah, I mean, people have talked about, her being related to Palpatine.
yeah,
There's the whole stretch that it was a Kenobi child, a grandchild of Kenobi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
Then
those
you
are,
gotta explain
again,
a bunch.
Yeah, exactly. There's more to be explained there. You'd have to dive back into all these different, connections. It gets to be kind of tough.
It does. Gosh.
You know what I'm saying? So
To be continued.
to be continued. Just definitely a question we wanted to kind of pose to you guys. Who do you think left Rey on Jakku? Or, is it just her, what's Kylo Ren call them? Like drunks, right?
Yeah,
she's-
filthy junk traders.
Junk traders.
Yeah.
Junk traders who sold you for drinking money.
For drinking money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's who it is.
Living in a
Maybe.
pauper's grave, is that what he says?
Yeah, maybe he told us the truth, and so could be that simple. And if
Could be.
that's what you think, let us know. I'd like to hear. I'd like
Yeah.
to hear people's thoughts and ideas. Maybe we'll start a thread in our Facebook group.
Can't wait to see what the group has to say.
Me too. If you haven't joined the Facebook
Come
group,
on.
now is the time. We have a lot of cool stuff happening in there, and some good folks having some solid
right.
conversations. So
That's right.
if you go to the Facebook page, you can on the left hand side you'll see an option for groups. You can get there. You can just type in Rebel Watch, a Star Wars podcast group.
That's
That'll get you-
right.
I'll get you right there. So, all right, friend. A little shorter discussion, but
That's
I mean,
okay.
there's really just posing a question, and we wanted to do it before the trailer
Yeah. It could happen at any
because I
point,
feel like
supposedly.
once we get the trailer, you might get more tidbits, and it's sort of like, okay, well, we can
Yeah.
add to this and kind of go from there. So we wanted to get it on record
Absolutely.
before any trailer comes out.
This isn't the last conversation by any means we'll be having
No.
about this.
What if they don't answer the question in episode 9? But I mean, like what if it's just like never answered?
Sorry, guys, you got to wait another 15 years. to
Maybe
find
they
out who
already
Rey
did.
is.
Some people argue like, hey, episode 8 already answered it. You guys are,
Yeah.
why are you even talking about this?
It's JJ's fault.
Yeah,
He's the one that set it up.
exactly.
So you leave it to him to answer it or not.
Exactly.
It's his story.
Yeah. All right, friends. Again, you can follow us on Twitter at RW2187. You can also follow us there. Follow me at Wompret_2 meters. You can follow Mike at Red5_Son of Sith. And again, hit us up on Facebook. Send us those theories. Get in the group and have some discussion with us. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe for more content. If you wouldn't mind, give us a little review on iTunes.
Come on.
That helps from time to time. It really does help us
It does.
a lot. So if you're enjoying the podcast and you want some more content, then do us a favor and leave that review on iTunes for us. So again, as always, may the Force be with you.